Tesla is certainly the most spectacular example of the inventor, disruptive man out of time, who has the capacity to change our world.
Probably the most well-known inventor you've never heard of is Nikola Tesla. Nicknamed the father of energy, Nikola Tesla was born into a violent lightning storm and would go on to become one of the most innovative and contentious figures in history. He is probably the most well-liked Serbian in Serbian history, is Nikola Tesla. It is widely believed that this brilliant individual was the driving force behind the technological revolution that shaped our modern world in the 20th century. Nikola Tesla had at least 278 patents, but what are the secret inventions that he gave the world? Let's look at 20 secret inventions by Nikola Tesla that changed how we understand the world and what it means for everyone on the planet. 20. Alternating current. This is the Tesla technology that sparked a war with Edison, the developer of direct current. Back in 1884, Tesla left Europe to work for Edison, who supposedly promised him $50,000 to fix the problems with DC power. Meanwhile, Tesla's alternating current had fewer issues. With AC power, the current is reversed numerous times per second, making it easy to convert to higher and lower voltages. According to the report, Tesla was working 20-hour days, and the whole time he was saying, "Let's switch to AC. It will work better." And although Edison promised to pay him, he never did, and said the commitment was a joke. Tesla quit and he ended up in a battle with Edison. The United States Department of Energy states that in an effort to protect the royalties he was receiving from his direct current patents, Edison tried to undermine Tesla's alternating current electricity by spreading false information that portrayed AC as harmful. As a public relations stunt, Edison would even use AC power to publicly electrocute strays. Anyway, Tesla countered by publicly shocking himself with 250,000 volts using alternating current to showcase its safety. In the end, though, Tesla came out on top because alternating current now powers the vast majority of the world's electrical appliances. 19. Tesla coil. It would be remiss of anyone discussing Nikola Tesla to omit the coil that bears his name. The Tesla coil is used to produce high voltage, low current, high frequency electricity. That may be confusing to some, so look at it like this. It was a contraption that created flying arcs of electrical energy. That sounds really risky, but Tesla never shied away from danger, even when it may have resulted in electrocution. He was able to do a lot of things with his coil, including generating a lot of energy and using it to power lights without requiring any wires. The Nikola Tesla Museum in Belgrade demonstrates this excellently, allowing the visitors to light a bulb using nothing but their hands and a little bit of Tesla magic. 18. Remote control. You can also thank Tesla for the ability to change the channel without getting up from the couch. Tesla invented one of the world's earliest remote controls, which he called a teleautomaton. He patented his device in 1898 as a method of and apparatus for controlling the mechanism of moving vessels or vehicles, which he used to control a miniature boat from afar during a demonstration at Madison Square Garden. Even though it took a while for the technology to find practical use, it's hard to fathom contemporary life without remote control technology. The rudders and propellers of Tesla's boat were powered by radio signals. Thanks to his invention, was another of Nikola's inventions that went way over the heads of many at the time. If the Tesla Museum in Belgrade is to be believed, Tesla patented the idea in 11 different countries because he foresaw its potential significance. 17. Radio. Many credit Italian businessman Guglielmo Marconi with developing the first radio. History, however, can be mistaken at times. Using innovations from 17 of Tesla's patents, Marconi is said to have sent the first radio signal over the Atlantic. Although Tesla got 2 radio patents approved in the late 1800s, the influential financiers behind Marconi's campaign ensured that the Italian inventor received the patent that ultimately mattered. as an illustration of how someone else was able to seize credit for the Serb's invention because Tesla let his imagination and restlessness get the best of him. Consider the radio. A patent fight broke out between the two innovators. In reality, Tesla, along with two other scientists named Oliver Lodge and John Stone, succeeded in having Marconi's radio patents canceled in 1943 by the U.S. Supreme Court. Regrettably, the court's verdict was made after the deaths of Tesla and Marconi. 16. Wireless communications and limitless free energy. What good is energy if it can't be controlled and metered? This was the final straw for the power elite, therefore these two issues are closely related. Tesla had a dream that one day, every single person on the planet would be able to receive free energy. He set about building a tower that would use natural frequencies to transmit data across the globe, undoubtedly a precursor to the World Wide Web. J.P. Morgan backed Nikola Tesla with $150,000 to build a tower that would use the natural frequencies of our universe to transmit data, including a wide range of information communicated through images, voice messages, and text. In addition to being the first wireless communications, this also meant that, barring the expense of the tower, the entire cosmos contained free energy that could be harnessed to create a global web that connected every person on Earth and enabled them to communicate with one another. In essence, the universe's binary code is woven into the very fabric of being, and we may all access it whenever necessary. 15. Induction motor. The first alternating current induction motor was developed by Tesla using ideas put forth by French mathematician François Arago on spinning magnetic fields, which occurred some 63 years prior. The innovation significantly improved energy-generating efficiency and, in many respects, was the spark that ignited a second industrial revolution. Nikola Tesla's invention of the electric motor is eventually being popularized by a car brandishing its name. Let it be known that Tesla's discovery of a motor with rotating magnetic fields could have liberated humanity from big oil's grip far sooner. However, the Great Depression and subsequent World War II rendered his 1930 invention obsolete. Nonetheless, many things that we use every day, compressors, electric wristwatches, water pumps, machine tools, power tools, disk drives, and industrial fans, were radically altered by this discovery. 14. Death beam. Even in the latter stages of his life, Tesla's inventive mind kept hatching new ideas. As he celebrated his 78th birthday, he informed the New York Times about his groundbreaking innovation, claiming it would cause armies of millions to drop dead in their tracks. To us, it sounds like either the most amazing or terrifying thing that has ever existed. Although it's likely that both were considered, Tesla's innovation was centered around peace rather than conflict. The invention was an immense military weapon, capable of accelerating mercury particles to 48 times the speed of sound within a vacuum chamber. It would then fire a beam through the air at high speeds, with enough energy to bring down 10,000 enemy planes from 250 miles away. The media called it a death beam, but Tesla saw it as a peace beam that could save lives by preventing invading armies and planes from crashing into it, like an unseen Chinese wall, but 1,000,000 times stronger. Despite the military interest of the American and Soviet governments, Tesla's beam has failed to become a reality. Some could say that his dream of peace died with him. Without the inventor's genius to guide research experiments, his vision failed to come to fruition. 13. X-ray technology. Tesla was also a pioneer of X-ray technology. His work with radiation led to the first X-ray pictures of the human body, which he dubbed shadowgraphs. Tesla was also among the first to suggest that X-rays might be dangerous. His work is underappreciated in this and other areas of research as well. According to one 2008 academic article published in Radiographics, every radiologist is aware of Nikola Tesla's research in the field of electromagnetism. But if the discovery of X-rays is mentioned, only a few radiologists associate it with Tesla's name. Tesla contributed to medicine in other ways as well. the unit of energy named after Tesla, is used to measure the strength of the magnets in MRI systems. 12. Shadowgraph. The discovery was made during some insignificant experiments with discharge tubes, which proved that Tesla was no ordinary chap. Nikola realized that his noodling had destroyed the surrounding photographic platus. 2 years down the road, Tesla created what he called shadowgraphs, the first X-ray pictures of a human body. Nikola Tesla's legend has gained seemingly unstoppable momentum over the last few years, and many are beginning to doubt the importance of the great man from Smiljan. Even the most cursory of researchers will find it difficult to deny his ingenuity, and Nikola Tesla remains one of the great scientific minds in the history of humanity. 11. Violet ray. While electrotherapy may seem quaint now, it was groundbreaking medicine at the turn of the 20th century. The practice of forcing electric currents into people's bodies ended as soon as people became sick of it. But in 1900, it was revolutionary, and Tesla's violet ray was the key. He introduced it at the Chicago's World Fair in 1893, the same event in which he presented his famous Egg of Columbus. 10. Neon lamp. If we're talking about fads that came and went, there was a period in the 20th century when neon signs of every shape and size would line city streets. The technology for these monstrosities is of course traced back to Nikola Tesla, who developed and used fluorescent bulbs some 4 decades before they became popularized. While Tesla wasn't the one who actually created neon lights, his work on wireless illumination was a major influence. Even if light wasn't invented by Nikola Tesla, he did develop new methods for distributing and harnessing light. Nearly 40 years before they were invented by industry, Tesla created and utilized fluorescent lamps in his laboratory. Tesla essentially created the first neon signs at the World's Fair by bending glass tubes into the names of renowned scientists. 9. Hydroelectric power. Additionally, Tesla was an early trailblazer in the field of alternative energy. One of the first hydroelectric stations in the world was built at Niagara Falls, New York, and Tesla owned 9 of the 12 patents that were utilized in its construction. As a child, when his uncle read him a book about Niagara Falls, the first thing he thought was about energy. "That water falling is energy," explained Alessi. At the dawn of our using fossil fuels for the Industrial Revolution, Tesla was already saying, "That's not the way we should go. That's dirty and finite." The Tesla Science Center claims that Tesla's knowledge of the physics behind energy and his vision for its potential future made him an instrumental figure in paving the route toward clean energy. Even back then, renewable energy sources including water, wind, and solar were already on his radar when he made the proposal. 8. Robotics. One of the numerous fields that Nikola Tesla is considered to have fathered is robotics, a field that is often associated with the far future. Even while the enchanted merging of science and engineering had been around since Yan Shi's time, it was Tesla who dragged it into the mainstream by force. In 1898, Tesla showcased the first radio-controlled vessel, setting the stage for the robotic revolution of the 20th century. If you've ever enjoyed Isaac Asimov, you have Tesla to thank.
7.
A laser. An excellent illustration of the duality of human nature can be found in Nikola Tesla's invention of the laser. On the one hand, lasers have revolutionized surgical applications and are the basis for most of our modern digital media. On the other hand, we have ventured into the realm of science fiction with this technological leap. From Reagan's Star Wars laser defense system to the current arsenal of Orwellian, non-lethal weapons, which includes laser rifles and directed energy death rays, there is ample room for advancement in both directions. 6. Magnifying transmitter. In his autobiography, Nikola Tesla stated, "I feel certain that of all my inventions, the magnifying transmitter will prove most important and valuable to future generations." It is not surprising that he created this improved version of the Tesla coil to test his dream of eliminating wires in communications and power transmission. Using the $100,000 that an investor had given him for another purpose, to develop a new public lighting system, Tesla spent 9 months experimenting in his laboratory in Colorado Springs to construct an amplifier transmitter with a diameter of 15 meters, which could generate lightning bolts of electricity up to 40 meters long and extremely high voltage currents, up to 4 million volts. After this, he felt he had taken a step closer to his wireless dream. 5. Efficient machines. On the occasion of his 50th century birthday in 1906, Tesla demonstrated a bladeless turbine that would compete with piston engines in terms of efficiency. In 1913, he patented the idea, with the intention of using it for geothermal energy, even though he never developed it commercially. In the past, he had patented an electric generator called the Tesla oscillator, which was meant to replace the inefficient steam engines that were then in use to generate electricity. But his invention was surpassed in efficiency by modern steam turbines. Experimenting with a small version of his oscillator, Tesla claimed to have reached the resonance frequency of his building, causing his neighbors to call the police, alarmed by the shaking and tremors. According to another version of the story, writer Mark Twain, who was a friend of Tesla's, had a laxative effect caused by the oscillator's vibrations. At his 79th birthday party, Tesla told reporters that his oscillator could topple the Empire State or split the Earth's crust in two. It is popularly known as the Tesla's earthquake machine, although in 2006, a modern version of the oscillator failed to produce large vibrations when it was tested on the TV show Mythbusters. Due to technical constraints, lack of market potential, or both, some of Tesla's far-fetched dreams have not yet materialized. The eccentric inventor brought forth several wild ideas in addition to his groundbreaking work in radio, television, motors, robotics, and electricity. 4. Earthquake machine. In 1893, Nikola Tesla patented a steam-powered mechanical oscillator that could generate electricity by vibrating rapidly at high speeds. Years later, he told reporters that he had an accident while trying to calibrate the oscillator to the vibrations of his New York City laboratory. During the test, Tesla continuously turned up the power and heard cracking sounds. Police and ambulances arrived on the scene to attend to the commotion, but Tesla told his assistants to remain quiet and tell the police that it must have been an earthquake. 3. Thought camera. In 1893, while conducting experiments, Tesla had the following revelation that he shared with a newspaper reporter decades later. I became convinced that a definite image formed in thought must, by reflex action, produce a corresponding image on the retina, which might possibly be read by suitable apparatus. This led the inventor to consider reflecting an image on an artificial retina, taking a photograph, and then projecting the image on a screen. Thus, the idea of photographing thoughts was born. If this can be done successfully, then the objects imagined by a person would be clearly reflected on the screen as they are formed, and in this way, every thought of the individual could be read. Our minds would then, indeed, be like open books. 2. Artificial tidal wave. The engineer and physicist believed the power of science could be harnessed to prevent war. In 1907, the New York World published an article about one of Tesla's military inventions, in which wireless telegraphy would cause high explosives to be detonated at sea, creating tidal waves big enough to capsize enemy fleets. The newspaper reported that the artificial tidal wave would make navies as useless as the paper boats that babies float in bathtubs, and foreshadowing later claims about the development of nuclear weapons, by its horrors, hasten the day of universal peace. 1. Electric-powered supersonic airship. The idea of flight had always captivated Nikola Tesla, even as a young boy. After the failure of Wardenclyffe, he began to focus more on aviation, drawing on his knowledge of electrical and mechanical engineering. In an article published in the July 1919 issue of Reconstruction magazine, Tesla detailed his plans for a supersonic aircraft that would travel 8 miles above Earth's surface and reach speeds that would allow passengers to fly from New York City to London in 3 hours. His idea involved powering the planes with electricity, transmitted wirelessly from power plants on the ground, doing away with the need for aircraft to carry fuel. According to Tesla then, the power supply is virtually unlimited, as any number of power plants can be operated together, supplying energy to airships, just as trains running on tracks are now supplied with electrical energy through rails or wires. He also had in-depth, patented and accurate drawings of flying saucers and sophisticated planes. He envisioned the future to be devoid of road vehicles. His imagination was a sci-fi dreamscape. Despite obtaining about 300 patents globally, many unfinished projects remain in archives. His story is one of tremendous passion and love for knowledge, which fueled his immense determination, and it changed the world. Thanks for watching another episode of Voyager. While you're still here, make sure to click the video on your screen for more mind-blowing videos about space.